When I started photography, when I got a camera, a professional camera, and I started taking pictures, and I uploaded to Flickr. Flickr is a social media group that hosts photographs. And then people saying, hey, this is nice, and thing. And I say, wow, this is nice too. And most of my work, most of the stuff that evolved into a business really started off as a hobby. And me really having fun doing it. It evolved from just the landscape photography into doing portrait photography. Hence this Peter Looks page with these lovely faces. Who's PS Media? Phillip and Williams. We operate a media production company business. So I've been involved in media production for like 8 years. I've been just about like 11 years. And together we have a combine when you add that. So that's what we do. In getting into business, and one of the challenges, that's what we actually talk about, one of the challenges is finding a good partner in business. And if you're able to find a good partner in business, in order for that partner to feel a part of the business, it might require you changing your name from Philtech Media to PS Media. It just might. I tried to start my own business, and it was called AMP, Tech Media Productions. And we were excited and young, and wanted to start our own business. It worked for a year, and then there was a vacancy in the newspaper. And I said, all right, time to move on. So I went to courts, and I worked at courts as a graphic artist. That was the designation officially. But I used to do television commercials, help people on the floor when they come and ask you, what's the price for this? You gotta tell them the price. So, you know. But graphic artist was the official designation. Where is this? Perica, no. What? Crane? No, Crane is alright. Across the river, sir?
No, so west.
Sir? Who said Barbies? Who said Barbies first? Who said Barbies first? What's your name, man? What's your name? Nikita. Nikita, please stand.
You are
Nikita, you are right. Come forward, Nikita. Come forward. Nikita, you are right. This is Barbies. This is like, you know when you go to the two bridge? Like this is the last bridge, and this is like as soon as you enter. There you go.
That's profit.
Your job is to make sure everybody knows that I was here. Nikita, ladies and gentlemen, Nikita. For the presentation ceremony, and there I was collecting my millions. First place, collecting millions there. This idea, does this job, does this thing that I'm about to do, does it really get me excited? Does it make you want to jump out of your bed, really, in the morning? Does the idea want to make you love Mondays? That's a good question. When you hear Monday, your BBM wasn't got them pictures saying, oh, Monday again. And you will say, yes, it's Monday because you're going to do what you love to do. I used to work at a place, I used to work for $5,000 Guyana a month. A month. No, it's not that old. That story, no, it was like recent. And guess what? My parents just asked me, what are you doing? But the place I was working with, they had like the latest equipment, and I was just excited about this equipment and excited about being and stuff. So I tell them I was on the job training, and I would collect a stipend. But here what happened to stipend, at the end of the month, when you get the 5,000, I had a lady that used to sell in the canteen there, right? $4,000 goes back to her for snacks during the month. And $1,000 is what you had by the time you catch a taxi to go home. Basically, your money finished. But it was a prestigious job. You know, we had uniform. We used to go in the big gigs, CARICOM party. This is a nice one. This I call a buffer plan. What happens when the people that you work for don't pay you for the next 2 months because the accounts department didn't get the document yet. What do you do with GPL and GT&T? When GPL come at your house to cut your light, they don't want to cut your light, you know. They come to you and say, I'm going to cut your light! What you doing about it? You always, with the document, they ain't looking for that document, they're looking for that document. What, so you might get a stash of money, put it in GPL for the cut man. I ain't propagating though, I'm just saying. What do you do when the money doesn't come? For me, my partner in business has a fixed job outside. So I give her some leave, yeah, so she can work outside and just in case, money and thing, I say, you want much? Partner. You got some business students in this class, right? Okay, no? Martin, you know you don't make money, you don't make profit, you don't make a profit. From now to the next 3-4 years, you don't already make money to talk about. That's the hardcore facts. I don't want to talk about this tomorrow, it's depressing. On this slide. I got one called the LST disease. You gotta write this down. LST. LST disease. LST disease. And it's infiltrating our society, and every strand, every part in the society, you've got this disease happening. After I show you what it is, I can explain to you how it's doing, right? It's stifling growth. We are born into corruption. From the day you're born, some of us were born in corruption because we didn't get the right born paper, we could pass something. At every high point, at every milestone in our life, you got people waiting for the corruption. Alright, so you got your birth certificate. Now it's time to get married. Done. Here what happened? You pass something and pay something. You don't really like the person really much. Anyhow, and then corruption is everywhere. Time to drive, if you want to drive. So here we do. You go and you write the test. And then, yeah. Hey, this is a big one. What happened last time? A big thing. It happened to you last time, you had blackout? Yeah. I could see from all those who were in black. They had blackout last night. The whole place was blackout. You're working on something and bam, blackout. You call your client and say, hey, we got blackout. And as a startup business, you don't get money to buy a generator. You don't get money to buy a generator. And the place you're renting on Regent Street, you're able to fetch a generator in your bicycle and you're riding to work. Or you can say, poor utility service. If you want a blackout. Then you got your friends and your family. Those people. I ain't got so much else to know these people. I don't know about yourself, but yeah. For the four of us in here that work with ourselves, we know what it is to work. When you at work playing solitaire in the computer, we gotta work for every cent. We can't say, hey, we can come in after lunch and come in late and still get paid. We pay ourselves, you know, and so for you, if you get into the thing, every cent you gotta work for.
Opportunities for, more opportunities for businesses. Do you think Guyana has the scope? Because we have a lot of media organizations in Guyana, but do you think we have the scope, to have enough businesses?
Are you saying enough what?
Enough to fill, to market all these media organizations.
Money from Burmese funds to shoot their wedding.
Yeah. It's called the Burmese price. And then you're talking about the access to the latest equipment and stuff. But I'm noticing these days that we ain't really getting much of a problem with access stuff. We got a lot of people that offering the, you know, we can buy it and bring it for you in your Caribbean Cargo, Yellow Park, and you got these different people. And so for me, I didn't really have that as a challenge at the onset or even now, because we still kind of getting those access, and Guyana had a lot of flights going in and out of different things. So it's not as easy as before.
What he was bringing up is that when you buy equipment and the expensive, and you might get a turnover with the person wanting to pay.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you deal with the challenge of, okay, you're now starting up, like in terms of profit, how do you deal with a company like Percy, Acme? What strategies do you use so they can brand you?
Excuse me, do you work with Percy or Acme?
I know exactly who you are, so they're probably a bit hesitant, like coming to your company and wanting to be doing something instead of going somewhere else where they know the quality is good.
And that's what we say was planting the flag and letting your name be known. But then, added to her thing, what is different than Percy's and Acme? You can't find Acme on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. And I can be there to chat with you and tell you, hey, watch. And so the way we market ourselves now and the way we connect with the demographics could give us a little edge there too. Richard, you had a point?
I think I forgot it, but how do you deal with in this country you can't get away from politics, and the fact that if you're associated with the current government you get more work than if you're not. How do you deal with that?
I don't let them know who I associated with. I'm trying to find some of my clients. I think I got a government in Guyana there as one of the clients there. Yes. Government in Guyana. Right down there. I want to forget the opposition close. Oh, I didn't put it. Oh.
Survey. Now, how do you convince them that they need your service or they should try to buy promotions? What do you do?
I kind of do this jealousy game. I take one of your friends and call them in the studio and take a picture of them and put them up on Facebook. And then you say, hey, where you get it from? Oh, you look so... Oh, where you take that from? And I put my name at the bottom of the picture. And it goes back to the whole marketing thing and how you kind of reach the proposals and stuff. And Rashi does all the hard work. Then I go downstairs in the room and just play with the computer and give them what they want. So that's how we're able to share the work there. If your next question is when we employ people, I don't know. Yeah, and that's the next thing too. Like if I said earlier what the business is, what makes me a little different too is that I don't profess to have all the answers, but I can tell you that I would find the best people in the particular field to help get your stuff solved. And I'm not afraid to branch out beyond the confines of my walls to find the best people to work on the project. You know? I'm afraid of getting old. I just see that people get 30 year and 40 year. We just got like awards for being with a company for 30 years and 40 years and stuff. And I said, wow, these people, all their years, and they at this desk and this chair, and the room look like them. And I like shocks. I'm just scared of getting old, right? I know what kind of, I need some kind of social scientist evaluate my head. I am getting to play with my toys under the guise of business. So I got to put cameras, I got to put, stuff. The excuse is I'm doing business. Because every man is still a boy and likes to play with gadgets. Here ends my little discussion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. And I know you have no questions.
Hi guys, so we just heard from Mr. Williams. He's involved in a range of media photography, video, audio, everything. And he basically outlined the challenges faced in the start of our production company, and particularly his company and his experiences. He spoke to us about taking factors into consideration such as capital and competition, blackout. I would just now like to hand you over to Miracle, who will give you.
Good night, class. Thank you is never enough, but we, the members of Group 1, would like to make an attempt. First, I would like to say thank you to our fellow class members for your time and your attention and for being such good students. Thanks to you guys. Secondly, we would like to thank our lecturers. We want to thank you for this opportunity for, giving us a connection. Wonderful guest lecturer. We want to thank you for that and for your patience, and thank you for bringing us thus far to even do this on our own. Last but not least, Mr. William, we would first like to thank you for your enthusiasm, because that was a lot of enthusiasm for one night. We had fun, it was interesting, we were not bored. I want to thank you for teaching us how important it is to be hungry, how important it is to know what turns us on, how important it is for us to know what is our purpose on earth. We would also like to thank you for teaching us about this disease, because ways, to prevent it or to find its cure. We would also thank you for teaching us about debtors, aka family and friends. I'm pretty sure we had this knowledge, but if it wasn't for you, we would not have had this. We would have said the right word. Debtors, sorry. We want to thank you for this. We want to thank you for your time, thank you for the knowledge. And maybe, even if it's not evident now, maybe you are a role model for someone else who maybe just want to go into this venture just the way you did. I would like to experience some of these challenges for yourself. So, even though it's not enough, I want to say thank you for our pronoun students. I want to say gracias, or, just thank you.
To introduce the class to my business partner at the back. At the back there. She offers moral support. Thank you very much.